Yeah, well, that's true, and I can agree to the form and the substance of what you're saying. I mean, look at the results of what's been happening in the foreign venues across the planet over the last few days. It's been extraordinary. When you see a situation where folks see an economic collapse happening before their eyes, folks are using new language. Now they're saying things along the lines of hyperinflation is going to be the norm if things are not handled in a given fashion. You're talking about folks saying that particular parties who were at one point a powerhouse no longer being that, being a shell of itself. They're telling you by default that they know that economically they're hurt. And basically, some are even saying that their collapse is near. I don't know about all of that. I won't get into all that. It has nothing to do with the Amexem-Moor-Empire. What I do know is there are parties out there who are going through a tremendous amount of stress and going through a whole lot of panic. We have been telling folks for a couple of Earth years now, this is coming. We've been telling folks for a couple of Earth years now, time to ante up and get ready for what's getting ready to come down. You have to be able to fend for yourself. You have to be able to do things. When I say yourself, by the way, I mean your collective self as well as the individual. You have to be able to take care of a system of food, clothing, and shelter on your own terms, as well as system of health and a wide variety of other things that are infrastructure issues. We've been on this ourselves internally. These are the things that we do. A lot of folks, they spend a lot of their time on the metaphysical component, and there's a time and place for that. You have a lot of folks out there who spend a lot of their time just basically debating non-relevant issues. I'm like, listen, don't get me wrong. A lively debate or discussion, if you would, about spiritual issues and religious issues, that's all well and good. They have a place. Entertainment has a place. True. But getting down to the work at hand in an orderly and proficient manner, in a cohesive manner, where it's not theory that's being looked at, but actual work that is relevant, that is being looked at and actually being engaged upon. Now we're actually getting somewhere. And when you have situations and foreign venues going the way they're going, it makes it easier for you because you're saying, well, look, I didn't wait to get a clue. I'm already on that. And I really, really, really cannot stress enough to folks that, look, if you do not prepare for times of trouble um, ahead of time, you're going to have a heck of a time when you're in the middle of it. So it's just common sense to figure out what's important in life and get down to business and making sure that you have all those things in place to cover what you feel is important in life, individually and collectively. And I ask folks repeatedly to hear us on this subject. We've offered repeatedly to sit down with folks on this subject. We're not asking to take a lead role on particular things. We're just looking to see what we can do to work with folks for the greater good. You have various houses of Moors, whether they be declared or undeclared. You have all these grassroots organizations. We put out a wide variety of information, and we find it amusing sometimes, but most of the time it's outright disappointing that folks they look over, around, and through us, but they act like we're not there. They have all these other predispositions. They have all these assumptions and presumptions. They are so busy speaking about what the problem is, they're not presenting any viable solutions. And so when we come and say, look, we suggest this, folks can either accept it or reject it. Overwhelmingly, folks have rejected it. But they wonder why they haven't gotten anywhere because they're so busy still running their mouth about the non-relevant issues. They're not putting in the work. So we're like, look, if you want to go ahead and continue along that course, if that's what makes you happy, peace be upon you. But we're putting in some serious work over here, and our folks are going to eat tomorrow. I don't know about yours, but our folks are going to eat tomorrow. We would like to do some work where we all eat tomorrow, but we can't make folks. And, we're not saying that our way is the only way. We're saying, look, why don't we sit down together and discuss a wide variety of issues. There's a couple of parties that we're speaking with right now. Some of them are in the Al area, and some are in other areas. and we're negotiating our way through particular things as we speak. But they are the exception, as not the rule, and that's the crying shame in my view because it's late in the day. It really is, and I would like to see folks who claim that they are about our folks to humble themselves, get rid of the ego nonsense, and say, all right, hold up, wait a minute. Who knows how to do what around here that I don't know how to do? I need to speak with those folks and see what we can work out, whether it be joint initiative, joint enterprise. No one cares about that. The only thing that folks care about are the results. What work gets done. Now, we put together a couple initiatives and joint enterprises, and they're poorly funded. We don't have all the funds that we to do everything on our own, and we've reached out for help, and basically we've got none. Folks can run their mouth all day about what they are about. We're about uplifting, quote unquote, fallen humanity, or as we say, kith and kindred, our kith and kindred. And yet, they don't raise a finger. They don't make a phone call when we ask for assistance. And we're like, look, you got an issue with our being here? All right, that's your head issue. But if we're doing something constructive and productive for the greater good of all of us, if you got head problems that's going to get in the way of that type of progress, then you're showing yourself to be not someone that engages with love, truth, peace, fame, and justice. Rather, you are about arrogance, apathy, ignorance, and inertia. And that is not proper. That is way out of order. And folks gotta figure it out. Either you step it up or just step off with the nonsense. Because you cannot continue to go into the metaphysical all day and not do work. You cannot continue to go into the sidebar issues all day and not do work. You cannot go into just banter about who knows what other than that which is substantial rather and relative. You gotta act and you gotta act and you gotta act right now. Honestly, think about what I'm saying and you know that what I'm saying is true.